Hi, my name is Annette Fletcher, and I am sharing the journeys, experience, learnings of a variety of queens via our Wear Your Crown Empowerment Speaker Series. The Empowerment Series is intended to empower women and girls into their purpose by hearing the stories of other queens who have experienced drama, participated in entrepreneurship, just life skills to, okay, I'm totally going to do this over. Hello, this is your girl, Annette Fletcher, Miss Big Beautiful Women of Delaware 2016, 2017, and the current pageant director for the Big Beautiful Women of Delaware, as well as Miss Fashion Global 2020 in the Curvy division. Here sharing our Wear Your Crown Empowerment Speaker Series, where we encourage or empower women and girls into their purpose by hearing the stories of other queens. This day, we have the one, the only top sponsor of the Big Beautiful Women of Delaware, and that's biggest cheerleader, the director, CEO of the Academy for Peace and the Stop the Violence Coalition LLC, Dr. Jay Macklin. Woo! How are you, Dr. J?
I'm super fantastic.
It is always nice to have you on, out and about. Before we even get you to start introducing yourself, I want to let everyone know that not only is she the top sponsor for the Big Beautiful Women of Delaware pageant, but she has been the host and coordinator in support of the Wear Your Crown speaker series from year one, which was 4 years ago, with 4 speakers. And she has been rocking out with this empowerment series entitled Wear Your Crown since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you listen in for the next 30 minutes as she shares what she does, why she does it, why it's important, and how you can support and contribute to those initiatives. So, Dr. J, please introduce yourself.
Well, as you said, I thank you for the introduction. I always look around and say, I wonder who they're talking about with such an illustrious introduction. But thank you so much for having me on tonight. It's always a pleasure to be with my girl, Annette Fletcher, who is, I say, pageant director extraordinaire, always coming up with some ideas that make sense to me. And that's why I've been with her all of these years so far with the pageant, but not only that, the principle of what she intends to do and how she does it. And so one of the reasons that I am a sponsor of this wonderful effort is because it matches exactly what I've been doing for 20 years now as the executive director, and I should say founding executive director of Stop the Violence Coalition Incorporated. We have so many programs over the year with young people and millennials, and you name it, the entire community have been involved in many of the things that Stop the Violence Coalition, and now under the umbrella of Stop the Violence Coalition, we have the Academy for Peace. So the things that you're doing certainly have been a wonderful match for Stop the Violence Coalition and the Academy for Peace.
Thank you, Dr. J. I'm excited and to hear that. But there are a lot of phenomenal people that you connect with that come through the Academy for Peace. So I am always honored to just be present, to be in the space to learn and see so many people in a community utilizing that space and connecting with you to better educate and share with our community.
Well, you know, I always say I'm not getting older, I'm getting better. And as a seasoned saint, as I like to call myself, of almost 70 years old, it has been my pleasure to serve the community and work with youth, because the youth are our future. I know we hear that all the time, but without people who happen to be youth growing up, we wouldn't have a community. And so I think it's important that we support, encourage, and steer our youth in the direction that makes for profitable community. And so it has been my 20-year dedicated, committed pleasure. I mean, they bring more into my life than I think I bring into theirs, in that it's been a 20-year journey. And some of the people like yourself that I'm working with now are the age that I was and even younger when I started this journey. I've always had a heart to do community service. My degree is in secondary education. I always wanted to teach, but I wanted to teach high school level, college level, and adults. And that's what I've been able to do throughout these years in just providing opportunities for learning for anyone who wants to learn from my experiences, my hopes, and my mistakes and failures too. We learn from all of that.
Yep.
And so whenever I have the opportunity to connect with young people in any meaningful way, I'm there. And so that's why we have the Academy for Peace. In 2017, after 17 years of Stop the Violence Coalition, and just to give a little background on Stop the Violence Coalition Incorporated, in 2001, there was a horrific incident in Wilmington. And it was in the barbershop, incidentally, right around the corner from where the Academy for Peace is located today. It was the horrific murder of two people. One happened to be little Damon Gist Jr., who was only 5 years old, getting a haircut in the barbershop, and a young man, 21-year-old. And we always mention the names because they were people who lost their lives in we call gangland shooting. But Darnell Evans Jr. and little Damon Gist Jr. were both killed in that shooting. And it was so heart-wrenching. It raised such a stir in the community that we had businesses, we had clergy, we had every sector of the government and everyone in every community coming together to see what we could do to serve our youth in a way that would prevent this kind of occurrence again in our community. Well, of course, we know that that was really just the spotlight being placed on something that had been happening in our community. But when it touches home in a way where there's a 5-year-old, come on, it's time to say enough is enough. And so we believed that one life saved was a life saved, and we could do something about it. So the clergy, the government, our community, churches, community centers, we came together, and there were about 25 people at the table representing all of those areas of concern. And from that, we started meeting every week. We met actually every week up until from 2001 to probably 2015. Can you believe that? Every week, every Monday, we had a formal meeting. And Mr. Pravi Powell, myself, his wife, Joyce Powell, and many others, I don't even want to start mentioning names because just so many wonderful people who are still doing great things even now, came together, met religiously, and became Stop the Violence Coalition Incorporated. In a very short time, we were able to acquire our 501c3, and the rest is history. We promoted peace as a way of life for young people. We did major conferences from the Wachovia Center back then. We were able to offer and really get in front of 21,000 people. We were afforded the opportunity to have major conferences at the Chase Center and New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland. We were really a regional group doing anti-violence and violence prevention work. And so here we are 20 years later, and I'm still vigilant about doing that. The Academy for Peace, as I said, is an outgrowth of Stop the Violence Coalition Incorporated. In 2017, we were able to acquire the location of 203 North Market Street, where the Academy for Peace is now. And we are an active community venue. There are so many things that go on in the Academy for Peace, and it's always with the intent to bring the community together in as many ways as we possibly can, and extending the opportunity of peace promotion to anyone who comes in the door. They will be received with an attitude of peace. And also, no one ever leaves without, and this, I'm just saying this, saying, oh, it's so peaceful in here. So I guess we're doing something right. But it's been a great opportunity. And this year we're coming up on 2021. And after having, yes, indeed, after going through the pandemic, COVID-19, I must say, people have really reached out to the Academy for Peace, even with the Black Lives Matter efforts that we had all year. We were right there in the center of that, promoting peace in the way that we do, having our youth engaged. We have the Fashion Steppers. They are a resident youth group. They are steppers, they are dancers, they're singers, they're actors, and they are wonderful young people. We also offer our GLAM program. Many people don't realize we take our programs into the schools. For 2 years, my partner and I, Miss Gwendolyn James, we were in Stubbs School with our GLAM program, and that stands for Glowing Ladies Attitude Models, or Godly Ladies Attitude Models, whichever one we are at the time. But we promote building the queen consciousness in young ladies. And that's why it's been such a delight to work with Annette, because of the Wear Your Crown program that actually she and I came up with that idea, just fooling around one day at the Academy for Peace. And we said, you know what? Why don't we invite some ladies in and have them tell their story? And that's what we did. And I think that year we were able to do 21 weeks with 21 different women. And so with that, we've been doing it ever since. And last year we had the opportunity to do an international pageant because COVID kept us from doing our local pageant. So Annette and her creative self and I, we were able to come up with an idea to have a pageant in the Academy for Peace, but to invite young ladies from Namibia, right, Annette?
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
South Africa. So we had
in South Africa, yes.
Overview from 2016 to 2019, and we introduced the ladies who were going to be competing in 2020. And we had 2 local models and 2 national models who joined us. So yes, that was awesome. And I am hoping that we can do something like that again.
Yeah, I am too. And another thing we're excited about, and we will be announcing as we go along, is that we are getting to do senior pageant this year. I can't wait. I'm so excited. In 2019, I had the honor of being named the honorary queen. And I'll tell you what, I wear it proudly. And so I'm looking forward to getting more senior women involved, because what I'd really like to see and hope for is that through the pageant process, many of the women who come through as seniors would want to be mentors for our young people, for our glam girls. And that came to Stubbs for 2 years and helped me have a little pageant for the girls who had been in the glam program. And the glam program is so significant in that we work on their academics, we work on their poise and presentation, we work on their attitude. One of the programs that I have designed based on a book that I read years ago called Have a Winning Attitude. I've been doing that program for over 25 years, even before Stop the Violence Coalition. When I was in corporate America in banking, we would bring children from the projects into the bank and pay them a stipend to work with me during the summer. And I would have every Friday the Winning Attitude program. So it's been transferable throughout the community. We've done it at several different schools, but for 2 years straight, we did it at Stubbs. And that was very instrumental in helping me with the young ladies. And now we have, of course, the Fashion Steppers, and they have their continuing glam program. As a matter of fact, they really missed it during COVID because we haven't been active in the academy as much as we would have been during this season. So they are just chomping at the bit to get back to their glam program. And we're excited to know that there's hope for a better year in 2021.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. They are an awesome team. And the cool thing about not only the Academy, but Dr. J is if your vision is intended to build community, enhance community, the Academy for Peace is an ideal location for that. And because you have the resident youth group that is there, if you are looking for youth to connect with, to support with, to sow into, to pour into, they're there for you. And they love performing. They love sharing the art, the work that they do, which is huge. It builds discipline, it builds character, it builds what is it, time management, because you have.
Absolutely.
And the cool thing is it's free because they do fundraisers throughout the year to make sure that it doesn't incur costs to the youth who participate. So whenever you support the Academy, you support all of these events.
Well, and I must say that Latoya has been our youth leader, and she's actually the founder of Fashion Steppers. And she, like myself, we want it to be free for our children. We want the Academy to be open for whomever will come in. And so we are self-supporting and self-sustaining. However, we do appreciate any form of support. And this year we weren't able to do one of our major fundraisers, which is our empowerment vendor holiday gathering, where vendors come in and they showcase what they do and their wares. We weren't able to do our major event this year, but we went out to the street and we had the steppers out there, and we had the cars coming by during the holiday season, and we sang carols and played Christmas music. And do you know, we were able to raise the money as the cars drove by. They gave donations. People just wanted to do something to support. And so we certainly appreciated it, but we appreciated it not so much because we wouldn't have had things, but it was just the community support that made all the difference in the world. So when we were able to give every one of the children, and we have over 25 children in the steppers at any given time, uh, you know, all ages from 4 to college. Isn't
Yeah.
that amazing? And they help one another, they love on one another, and they never have a dull moment. Those children, one of the things, if you are looking for children to support, they have the right attitude. Let me tell you, they are respectful, they are very pleasant, and they and you mentioned time, you know, I hear a lot of people talking, well, nobody starts on time. Well, I start on time. Or at least try to most of the time. And our kids are being raised that same way. They know how to perform, they know when they're supposed to be there. And we've had the exciting good fortune to honor the mayor. We led him on. We've led uh, Lisa Blunt Bradley, our illustrious uh, Congresswoman. We've led her on. We had the opportunity of going to the riverfront during the Biden president-elect, and they marched all over the city just celebrating, and ended up at the Chase Center. And so they have had a wonderful year in spite of COVID, and they are still going strong and excited about what 2021 will bring. And so am I. You know, I'm optimistic that the worst is past. I'm not dwelling on the past. I'm looking to a bright and glorious future.
Mhm.
And COVID only did something major for me. It allowed me to quarantine and write and think and plan. And so I have so much in my booklet for the Academy for Peace. I'll never be bored. If I could just get a little bit of it done for 2021, I'll be happy. And also during 2020, I had planned for 2 years with Seven God, one of our local artists, that he would be our resident artist for the summer of 2020. Well, of course, you know, with COVID-19, we thought that was going to be scrapped. But because of his wonderful work ethic and attitude, we were able to have a fantastic artistic opening. And it was fabulous. Over 50 some people showed up. We were outside, we were social distancing, and everybody got to see a wonderful residency and show put on by the artist Seven God. And he's been working with me all year long. And I really have to give him a shout out because his work ethic and manner of work has been fantastic. And so I'm looking forward to doing some more things with him this year. But if you've missed the show, we have murals, an indoor mural of art. It never goes away until we take it down. So if you would like to see it, you can always contact us at janeirmacklin, AOL.com. It's JANEIRMACKLIN at AOL.com. Or you can just hit me up on Facebook Messenger. I'm Jay Macklin. You can find us there at the Academy for Peace as well on Facebook. And, you know, I'm real easy to find. Just get to Loma District, you'll find me somewhere in the community.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. J, for joining us today, for sharing the Academy. If people, well, you just shared how they can connect with you. If they want to make a donation, do they email the email address that you just sent? Or
Yes.
is there a Cash App or a PayPal that they can use as well?
Yes, they can just email me their information and I will reach out to them and we can make those arrangements for donations. We accept Cash App And when you contact me via Messenger, just Jay Macklin on Facebook or janeirmacklin@aol.com, we can make those arrangements with you.
All right. Well, you guys have just met Dr. Jay Macklin, the CEO of Stop the Violence Coalition, LLC, and the director of the Academy for Peace, who hosts the Fashion Steppers and is the top sponsor of the Big Beautiful Women of Delaware pageant, as well as the Wear Your Crown Speaker Series, and has been for 4 years running. Thank you, Dr. J, very much for hosting. If you want to connect, we will put the information below. Be sure to use the links below. If you want to donate or support, you can also do that by emailing Dr. J with the email below, and you guys can coordinate at that point. Thank you, Dr.
And you can also mail to 203 North Market Street. You can mail directly to 203 North Market Street, the Academy for Peace.
And that's Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. It'll
Correct.
be listed below, so be sure to take a look. Bye.
And thank you so much, Miss Annette.
Pleasure.